Hello and welcome. Well, on this week's Motor Cars Enthusiasts, we got a bunch of weird stories in the news, so let's get right to it. First up on the list today, well, the Fisker Group looks like it's really circling the drain. As now, after Fisker left this company and most of the other high-head brass has, now apparently the rest of what Fisker is has laid off even more people. All the PR staff have been let go. The communication staff and the press staff that was working for the company have all now gone, gotten their pink slips, so apparently this company's all but dead. We'll wait and see what comes of this deal. It will go into bankruptcy court, and maybe this vehicle may get scooped up, at least some of the assets of this company may get bought out. We'll have to wait and see what comes of this deal. I can think of one company right now that may buy up some of the assets of this company, but I'll share that with you later because we'll know more about that at least once it gets into bankruptcy court. Apparently that's exactly where this is going. Next up on the list, the Barrett-Jackson auction. The actual Palm Beach auction, the second auction in Barrett-Jackson's lineup for year 2013, went down this weekend, and actually they sold off a vehicle, the star of the show, which was the Stingray C7 convertible. Now, this vehicle was sold off for the Barbara Ann Carmonos Cancer Institute. Do a lot of great work for cancer research, and all the funds went to this particular institute. And now, the guy who bought this particular automobile is the same one who bought the hardtop version, which got sold off at the Barrett-Jackson auction in Scottsdale. It's Mr. Rick Hendrick here. Now, Mr. Hendrick, who bought both of these vehicles, just the rights to buy the first two of these automobiles. I'm assuming that he'll probably keep these for posterity, as it is a pretty big deal to own the first off the assembly line models of each one of these cars. He paid a cool $1 million on each of these vehicles, so, and both of them went to cancer research. So a good job on Rick Hendrick here, who's actually dealt a little bit with the cancer before and with throughout his family as well. So good gesture. Rick Hendrick's a great guy, big racing guy. He owns a number of very successful stock car teams along with some very successful automobile dealerships. So good guy, good cause, and two great automobiles. Love to actually get to see them in person one day. Next up on the list is Chevelle is in the news, as actually apparently General Motors is actually putting together a deal. They're in the final deals of the process of getting the trademark registered name for the Chevelle name to bring it back into their fold. Apparently there's going to be a new Chevelle coming soon. Rumors already floating all over the place of what this car could be, and this is the one most people continue to point at, which is the Code 130R that they showed off a couple of years ago. I think it was at the Detroit Motor Show. This vehicle, low horsepower manual transmission, rear wheel drive, which is actually along the lines of something Toyota's making right now. But it may be, a lot of people may not like this. So the Chevelle was always kind of a, well, not always, but most of the time was a big powerhouse, high horsepower vehicle. This vehicle will not be that. Very lightweight though, so, but I would love it if this car was actually going to be called this. I think, but the Code 130R isn't a bad name either. We'll wait and see what comes of this deal. Now, the vehicle this thing will be fighting with is a Toyota GT86 or the BRZ Subaru or the FRS Scion that it is sold here in the States. Another vehicle manufacturer that wants to go head-to-head with the GT86 here, this may be an exciting little class coming up, is Kia. Kia's actually, their head of design came out and said that they're actively looking into the process of building their very own GT86 fighter, which to me is uber exciting. You get a bunch of these companies going at it. We're going to get some pretty doggone cool cars coming down the list. Can't wait to see what comes of this in the future. Next up on the list, well, a lot of you may have heard about the Need for Speed franchise. I've known about it, well, I've been playing video games for I'd hate to think how long, and the Need for Speed franchise has always been there. I think I've played at least a couple of them. Well, apparently this is going to be made into a movie. Now the story's going to be a lot like a ton of other movie stories. Guy gets out of prison, now has to race for, you know, probably getting a kid back or something weird. Lord knows what it's going to be about. But regardless of what the story is, the cars in it are going to be epic. Hearing rumors about that this particular automobile, the Celine S7, is going to be in it, along with the Bugatti Veyron. How can you go wrong with this car? And the star of the show is going to be the new McLaren P1. Now, a lot of you may be already looking at me going, what? This picture was actually taken by, or actually put up by GTspirit.com. And if you want to jump over there, you can take a peek at this yourself. But it shows the McLaren P1 out behind this semi alongside a Koenigsegg Agera R. This movie's going to be packed full of awesome automobiles, so can't wait to see what it's going to be all about. And it's going to be coming in the year of 2015, and we'll keep you in tune. As soon as I get a trailer for this thing, I'll put it up on the Facebook page. You can check it out over there. The Hennessy Group, John Hennessy and his group out of Texas have built this particular monster of an automobile. It's basically a Lotus Elise, at least the doors and the roof are. Everything else they've built, it's longer, it's wider, it makes 1,200 brake horsepower of a twin turbocharged engine. This vehicle has now set a record, and I couldn't understand why they were so excited about it, but now I understand a little bit better. It kept going on that we beat the Bugatti Veyron, and this car went 265.7 miles an hour, which I thought was a little bit weird. Because if I remember correctly, the Veyron SS went over 265 miles an hour. But then I realized, okay, I'm dumb. It takes me a while to understand things. So apparently they were just actually making the big claims that they had beaten the standard Veyron, the only 1,000 horsepower Veyron. But a pretty big deal for this particular company, but they may have made a mistake. They didn't go to the Guinness Book of World Records people because of the Veyron SS, and that has become a mistake. As the Veyron SS, or the Veyron Supersport, it made its production car world record, Guinness Book World Record run at 267.8 miles an hour. Well, as of the taping of this particular program, just only 3 or 4 hours earlier, Bugatti and their group has been stripped of this particular award. They are no longer the fastest car on the planet. Amazingly enough, apparently the Veyron Supersport had a limiter on the vehicle in its production form that would keep it right at 258 miles an hour, and apparently they took it off to make this world record run. So now you see what I may be talking about, that Hennessy should have probably came in and done this, because now the world record holder, if they'd have known about this earlier, they could have really gone after this, because they would be the world record holder, because now the world record holder is this car. It's the Shelby supercar. This is the Aero 2 that actually made a run of 265.1 miles an hour. Now, apparently, the Guinness Book of World Record folks say if it's a production car, it has to come out production-wise, which is why the Veyron Supersport has been kicked out, because if they disabled this deal, which apparently a production vehicle, you couldn't do unless you were with Bugatti. I guess you probably could if you got in there deep enough, but you couldn't do it with a regular owner of this vehicle, so that's why they've gotten kicked out. Weird story. Don't think I've ever heard of anything like this come down before, but it was entertaining nonetheless. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this week's Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump over to the Facebook page, you can like us over there and look at all the car porn that we put up every day. Lots of fun stuff going on over there. Also, you can subscribe to the channel and you can get the first dibs on the new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.